Hey, it's Mark. I'm gonna do a fairly short video today. I'm gonna try and keep it at like 15 or 20 minutes. So that's kind of short for me, I guess. So, because there's always a lot of stuff to look at and talk about. Because I follow a good bit of sectors now and a lot of ETFs. So, I was looking at the overall market, and the move today was kind of like kind of like the last trading day, where it's just light volume and the algorithms and the program trades just kind of run us up, the high frequency trading, and because that's what the market, that's like 90% of the volume anyway. So they tend to push it up here during these light volume days. And I was thinking about that, like I thought that was probably going to happen before the holidays started. That they're just gonna either move it up a little bit or just be flat. So today was pretty impressive, even though it was light volume. You can see the leadership continued in the semiconductors, which have been kind of the year long theme. And tech was looks like a lot of tech was flat. And I mean, there's some pretty good moves in industrials today too, and of course biotech. If you follow my Twitter account, I've been all over some of these biotech stocks. I've been doing a lot of scans on them the past couple days. Like I ran a scan like 3 days ago, and I had some really good selections from those, and those are continuing to do well. If you don't follow my Twitter, I recommend following my Twitter because I'm really active and I post a lot of charts on there too. But I try to look at more charts on the YouTube because I can just go through a bunch more faster, and it's a lot easier to see them than scrolling on Twitter. So my Twitter is stock pursuit. It's the stocks under slash pursuit, and that's my Twitter slash X handle because they changed the name to X now. But I kind of like saying Twitter, but and I think a lot of people do. They just keep calling it Twitter. So it's always been the best platform for real time like stock alerts and stock trades. Like I remember back, I think I started getting on Twitter in like 2009 or 2010, and it was really the best. There wasn't like Discord wasn't really popular then, if there even was Discord. Like I wasn't using it, but the like Twitter was a really good platform, and it continues to be good for stock alerts and just a lot of quick information, of course. So I wasn't really surprised with the action today and last trading day, and I really think it's just going to continue to just slowly ramp up the rest of the year. I mean, I'm just seeing a lot of bullish charts out there, and even a lot of the weak stocks are kind of coming back. Like I went through some more biotech stocks. Like I went through the whole medical sector, and I found like the best looking charts to me. And my biotech watch list looks like this at the moment. It's You can probably see it there in the corner. Like I've got, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 tickers now. And I think that's going to continue to do well because there have been a lot of mergers and acquisitions going on with these big companies. Like Bristol Myers Squibb just bought a biotech company today. It was announced today, and there was one last week too, and that was the Bristol Myers Squibb, Bristol Myers, I guess they call it now. And so there's probably other mergers that I haven't noticed, but a lot of times that can keep propelling an industry is just speculation on continued M&A. And there's always a lot of that, with these drug companies and pharma, biotech. And the biopharma space is a lot of people are bullish on that going forward too, just because the new technologies with artificial intelligence and like the ability to have these huge databases, or they call them LLMs, and scan through, you can scan hundreds of thousands of documents that would take it used to take a person, days or weeks. I mean, it was like a full-time job to scan through all the studies and whatnot. So there's a lot of studies that are just sitting out there that haven't really been investigated or looked into and developed. Like this haven't really. There's a lot of studies that are probably going to come to light now with the new tech that's out. So, and I really think it's interesting. It's good to see the semis strong again because I think tech has to really lead. Tech's led the market for a while now, and it always does. Even historically, tech's kind of been where the innovation is and all the growth. So the fact that the semiconductors participated today is good to see, and kind of just makes me more bullish, really. And since we're talking about that, we can just talk about these other ETFs, like the XHB just did a really good triangle, and it's breaking out over the triangle now. And these momentum patterns have been really good, even on these ETFs and indices, like the Russell 2000, like IWM had some amazing, really easy to read setups like the past couple months. Like it did a triangle there and it did another one there, and it's not quite as triangle here because it had this huge level to knock up against. So, but the other thing I want to talk about is the small caps broke above the major level that my next major level that I've drawn up. It's like the last one really until I think you can get to the highs here from 2021, because these levels here weren't really as big a deal because they haven't held for long. Like, but the levels we just broke above now, they've been, so we knocked off those levels, back in 2022, 2023, back in January, February. Then we knocked up against it in summer, came down, and we knocked up against it this past couple weeks, and we just broke out today. So that's why today's kind of a big deal. Like a lot of people just see the light volume and they're like, oh well, it's nothing, but it kind of shows you the intentions of the program trades and the hedge funds and the big institutional funds flows. They're moving. They want to go higher. So I mean, they very well could trap too, like, because traps happen. But the way the price is kind of congested there and then broke out, it seems more like it's going to continue, because like I'll say in other videos, usually on tops there's like a spike top where the price goes up and it quickly reverses, like it did back in February this year. So I'm kind of convinced that this is going to hold at least for a while, and that's why I've been just going through these biotechs like every night, and I went through some scans again tonight, and I found one other good one. But if you can't see this, it's in the left corner here, and I posted them on my Twitter too. So I've been posting those out as I find them on Twitter, and yeah, a lot of these were just monsters today. Like, I guess the best one was the Midgie again, and I found this one back here on when it was like $1.50. Pretty sure I found it that day. Yeah, on that day there when it closed at like $1.49 or around there. and that's been a heck of a one. It's even higher volume today. And the other really good one was NO. This one I found last night, and I posted it on Twitter because I found it when this candle busted through that previous high there. So that's basically it's showing you it's a bottom because it's put in the low because it's breaking up above the previous high. So it's got the support was there, and it was uptrending. Like you can see back in the bottom was basically like 11:10, November 10th, and then it just kind of came up and then came back down, and then it bottomed out there a little higher. So it's just kind of going up and up, slowly. So I think it's going to test the previous level there. Like I think it's going to go upper 60s, or I mean upper 50s at least. Like I bought some calls just in case it runs, because I know this one from the past. It's had big runs like years ago, and it's kind of hard to trade because it would run a lot really quick, and then just like the spikes were really fast, so it'd spike and then come back. So like I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back tomorrow, like it starts to consolidate. But it has like really good spike days when it goes like back in 2020 it was a monster. But I remember even back farther, like in 2013. In 2013 it was a monster. I think these are probably not like reverse split adjusted if they've done reverse splits. Maybe it is actually, I think it's actually the right price because it went up a lot some of those years. Like you can see here is up like over 1,000% or roughly. So yeah, even farther back. I think I know it from like back in 2009. Back in '03 it was good too. Didn't even know about that. But yeah, it usually tends to move with the industry, with the sector. So the Chris is kind of a slower one, and the thing's already up like it's already up a bunch. So it's not one of my favorite ones here, but it very well may continue to. I mean, surely the merger and acquisition speculation could add to that too. There were some other biotechs that I was looking at that like a while back that had some hopes for acquisition, but I think I'm on the right track here, just picking the best charts. So, but the one I found today is the PBLA, and it just looks like the flag's breaking there. Like this looks like a flag right there, and the volume kind of indicates that too, because that day's volume was actually lower than the spike day, so that's cool. So, and the way it printed that, if it prints a shooting star then a hammer, that's usually pretty good too. That's I see that a lot on before runs. So this one's a pretty good one. Like I don't know much about the fundamentals, and that is something that is nice to know, like when they have like trials coming up and stuff. But a lot of times the technicals will kind of lead you to the fundamentals too. So there's usually a reason that stocks are running fundamental driven. So, but these things are tricky if you hold them. With the way biotechs work is they can easily drop like 50% or more on some bad news or a bad trial result or something not getting approved or news. So there's always a lot of news flow with biotech. So I tend to kind of not like them as like long-term holds, but they do tend to run. They do run really well. Like the percentage gains you get off them on the upside are really good, and they usually really happen really fast. So I mean, they're just good momentum stocks. But just kind of a caveat there, you've got to be careful with like position sizing, and you can't hold them for weeks and weeks and expect them just to not have a drop, like a big drop or something, because they can drop just faster than they go up. So that's why they're hard. They're hard to hold, for a long time with big positions. But I've kind of got some small positions, and I've got some other small positions like shares. But I'm just in with the calls on a lot of these now. Like I mean, PBLA might have calls. I haven't checked it out yet, but I put on the NO calls, INO calls, and some other ones too today. Like I put them on my Twitter account. It's like I put on, yeah, I was pretty active today. Yeah, the NO Wriggle, like Wriggle's a good one too. Like I recognize that one as a good mover. And the ABCL had calls too. So I went with the ones that just had really good liquid calls or fairly liquid calls. So the Wriggle, the Wriggle's another nice, really nice consolidation that broke out, and a lot of them have similar charts, and they kind of mimic. They kind of been mimicking the sector, like the biotech ETF. Like the biotech ETF had a really prominent consolidation there. So the ones I've been picking have been like pretty high relative strength. So they've been mimicking that. So I mean, IBB is that's a good trade too. But I opted for I put on the XHB calls just because it's a triangle, and triangle setups from momentum breakouts are really good, like in my experience, especially if they're like that. So the DNA was good too. I still got those calls. DNA looks pretty good. Like it looks like it's consolidating. Like the sell volume wasn't that high on that day. It just looks like another flag because it's got good support that it's held there. So the other one's the Nasdaq. I haven't actually looked at the Nasdaq, but I figure it's up with semis. So yeah, it's up. Looks like it's like the overnight futures open was up too. So it wasn't really much of a convincing breakout today, but it looks like in the overnight session it might run. Looks like it could gap up because it's already gapped up a lot. So I'm kind of curious what the Qs look like too, because it's pretty similar. Yeah, yeah, it just took out that possible reversal candle there. So the shorts are trapped. So I'm sure a lot of people shorted there, and that's even better really for the for the bulls here. Like one of the sympathies with of course with the home builders is Redfin, and it looks like a pretty good triangle now too, and I think this one's gonna run with XHB. Like the Rocket is already up a lot, like RKT is already. It looks just like it's getting exhausted, and it very well could keep going though, but I just like the consolidation better on the XHB because it's kind of mimicking XHB. And another one I traded recently was the Open. Yeah, I haven't looked at this one today, but this one looks pretty interesting too because it's gonna squeeze again. It looks like it's really trying to squeeze again because it's got a nice uptrend and a consolidation. The only thing there is that volume, but that was probably a lot of short sellers too. So yeah, this one's good too. I didn't even see this today, but I kind of have a basket of my favorite housing related stocks. But the Open looks good too on a breakout. Well, even that start of the flag there was a little higher, but usually that doesn't matter once it starts going above the previous level. Like the high there was 468, so it closed right at 468. So if we hit like 470, I think this thing's gonna go and squeeze. So a lot of these just got written off with during the rate increase. But you can see, yeah, it's put in a bit of a bottom there from May. Like it's actually, yeah, it's bottomed out, especially if it breaks over 541, and looks like it's heading there. So yeah, it's really bottomed out. And the hood was interesting too because it's right on a level. Hood's right on that resistance level, and it's not liking it. It hit right off it twice the past couple days. So we'll see what happens with that one. But I'm bullish on Hood if the momentum continues. Yeah, and there's a lot of good biotech charts. So let's look at these the rest of the video here because there's a lot of good setups like the EXCL. It's kind of breaking out too with this sector, and just a lot of buy volume. There's not much sell volume on that flag there, so let's look at flag. And the ADCT was really nice. That I found this flag like yesterday or the other day, and it's his textbook. It's coming off that trend support back there. Like it hit trend support and a flag at the same time, which is really nice. And this might be the weakest looking one, the GLYC, but that looks like the start of a flag, just with the volume being not super crazy high on the selling side, but usually that's how flags start what they look like with that shooting star. But because it hasn't had that much of a run, but it's got this one. I just like that it broke above that level there. That's been clear since February, really. So as long as it stays above this level, like about 190 something to $2, it's pretty bullish looking. And the iron was big. Like I found this bull flag like days ago when it was like right there, it's still going, and that was about 4 days ago or so. I found it, and it played out really nicely. It's breaking out. So last time it had a breakout, it went for 2 days. So it'll probably go tomorrow too. And oh yeah, the shot. I think that's about all the biotechs. Like, I mean, there's just a lot of good charts, but like This one looks like it's breaking out, but it's been kind of slow on the breakout. And the ABCL is just like a steady move up. Like a lot of times when you see a stock just kind of go higher slowly, they usually tend to pop. They have a big pop day, like kind of like that. This the NT. What I do with that? I think I took it off my watch list. The NKTX, I believe, was the tick NKTX or the yeah NK. Yeah, yeah. I found this one back there, and then it just kind of keeps slowly going up, and then bam, it just breaks out, and because I had that spike day there, which was kind of like which I liked when I saw it because it means it can do that again. So this one's like really got the Momo, and that was one of my other best Biotech picks I put on that Biotech watch list, and it looks like it's up against some more levels there, like that. It's actually kind of punched through it already, so I wouldn't be surprised if it just keeps going with the sector and the industry. But yeah, let's go to the shot. So this one I recognized as a supernova pattern. So it's short bias. It's like a good short on technical weakness. So these are the levels in the downtrend. So let's zoom in. So see that line there was a bear flag, and it broke down there, and it's still breaking down off of that bear flag. So it's definitely a bear flag. And I've got puts on this one. I think they're a month or two out. I've got some puts. So it was good to see it break that flag because I wasn't sure because I think I bought them up when it was up here, and but I figured this resistance level is pretty strong. So this level there, so luckily it played out, and I expect this one just kind of fade lower and lower over time here. And even there's the industrials. It's kind of coming off a nice consolidation, and it's got that trend support it's working right off of that trend support. So really bullish look. I mean, it just looks like it did back there too. Same kind of thing. And I think that's about it, really. Yeah, the GSAT's another runner. Like I know this one's a former runner. Like it always runs when it goes, and I thought it was possibly overbought there because I think I found it on this day, and posted it on Twitter on that day, and it just keeps going. So the thing about GSAT, it can just go and go and go. So it's really chasing here, like, but like you never know, it could just keep going. Like I can probably show you, yeah, back in 2021, it was huge run. I think it even ran last year too. Yeah, it had a pretty good move last year from like $1 to two something. But the biggest runs were back in like 2009 or 2000, like that era. Yeah, here it went from in 2009 it went from like 20 cents to $2. And just every couple of years it has these big runs, like 2013, 2014. It's usually pretty cyclical, but just when it runs, it runs. So I just got it on my watch list still. So that's about it. Yeah, so yeah, we covered some of the major indices there, and sectors, biotech, the the LTCN's been amazing too. I'm still holding on to this one. Like I bought it like a month ago, and or a month ago, and I'm up like 170% now. And it broke out again, and even with Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin was actually red today, so the relative strength is amazing on this one. It's like the Litecoin crypto trust. So it's been a pretty good one too. So yeah, I'll wrap it up there and I'll catch you next time.